This is the confidence which we have before him, that if we ask of anything according to his will, he hears us. And if we know that he hears us in whatever we ask, we know that we have the request which we have asked for. And he does. Sometimes we think he doesn't hear us, and we are really just going through it, whether if it's not a little root canal. That was big for me. What's your big thing? What is something that you guys been struggling with? What have you been turning to? Have you been making it more about you instead of just saying, Lord, I'm going to worship you. I'm going to worship you even in my pain. I'm going to worship you even when I don't see the money coming in. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my words, because there's power in your words, to go ahead and say, I am blessed. I'm a child of God. I'm healed, and I walk with confidence. There is really such power in that. His love helps you get over yourself and ignites your faith. It really does. His love, it helps you to believe more, to expect, and it changes your heart. It gives you really a heart of forgiveness. Because maybe there are some things that you can't get over because maybe you just don't forgive you. And the Lord's been tugging at you, come on. Where's that heart? I loved you. I loved you when maybe no one else loved you. I loved you like I provided for you like no one else has provided for you. Well, where's your trust? In Mark 11:22, have faith in God. Truly I say to whoever says to the mountain, be taken up and cast into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says is going to happen, it will be granted to him. Therefore I say to you, all things for which you pray and ask and believe that you have received them, and you will be granted to you. Do you see that part where it says you have received them? Believe that you have received them. That is so important, because it might be where you guys are waiting for God to move, and you're like, God move, God move. And what did he say? Speak to the mountain. I've already given you the authority. Stop being lazy. Stop making it about yourself. And I'm saying that to myself as I'm thinking about it, because I do. You know, a while, I will say, gosh, I don't know, it must have been like 7 years ago. I had a disease, and this is when David and I were dating, and he says, okay, I'm going to take you to the healing room. And I thought, what was the healing room? I thought maybe it might have been a beauty place. I didn't know, but I was just desperate, and it was simply just praying. That's it. And I was healed of celiac disease, healed of carrying molestation, abortion, divorces, eating disorder. There's probably a lot of other things. Maybe just feeling wanting the love of a man. I don't know. Maybe because I abandoned it. There's a lot. There's a lot. So they were busy that day. But what happened, when I got healed, I was like, whoa, I'm healed. It was really hard for me to accept. It was really hard for me to believe. Because you're like, whoa, all this time I was thinking, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. I didn't understand that's grace. And I thought, whoa, he's healed me. That means he loves me. He loves me so big. And there's many times where I wanted to go back and start saying, no, I can't be healed. This can't be right. And this is when you get to that place, it's so important that you get a verse and you begin to meditate on that. Because you know why? We see people coming to the healing room, getting touched, getting healed. And they'll come back again. Because you know why? The sickness came back. Why? What are they meditating on? I'm telling you, it's not the grace of God. I'm talking about all the do's and don'ts and the works of what you should be doing. Oh, you drink that glass of wine. And it's in their head that they think, no, I'm going to hell. I had to come to the altar. He needs to forgive me so I can get healed again. Whoa, you've already been healed. He did it once and for all. One of the verses really important to meditate on for me was Romans 6:14. For sin shall not be master over you, for you are not under the law. But what do you wonder? Are you under your works? You're under his grace. And I'm telling you, it was the renewing of the mind. And sometimes we need to meditate on things and where we're at with the Lord and what we're believing and standing. Because there's many times where the healing wanted to come. Doubt wanted to set in because I thought about my past. He really loved me. But as I meditated on that, I'm free from the past. It's not about me. It's about what he did for us. And that's why when I started off with these verses are not just Sunday school verses. These verses, and you meditate and think, man, when Jesus went to the cross, what he took for us. It was more than a root canal. It was more than finances. It was more than just my breakup. He took so much. He's already given it to us. Now he says, now go ahead and use it. Now go ahead and walk in it. Now go ahead and activate it. And stop making it about you. Put your eyes upon me. And there you go. I started, I had the middle class, some of you that used one day. And Audrey, oh gosh. And I was sharing with them. I don't know if you guys ever seen those bracelets. It's called like, what would Jesus do? I thought of getting those from the girls just to put a little conviction on them, you know, like if they get in middle school and they probably would be like, well, you know. And I was sharing with them, you know, I pictured that I'm wearing a what would Jesus do bracelet. And they're like, okay. And I told them, picture that for yourselves. And they're like, okay. And I told them, what would you do if Jesus was here? If he's walking along with you. Pretend he's walking along with you. And they're like, okay. One of them said, well, I probably want to smack my sister. I said, great, you know. And I'm telling them, I did that. That's what helped me. I pretend that, you know, I had a what would Jesus do? And it really checked me. It really helped me from the things that I said, but also for walking in fear. Because imagine that. Imagine if you're strolling along with Jesus. Are you going to be walking in fear? Are you going to be going ahead and, oh, Jesus, my finances, what do I do? My child, oh, yes. He probably says, well, I'll tell you what you. Yes, my children. And this is the thing. I told him, go for a week and pretend that you had that bad, walk around. I said, you know what it made me do one time? It made me go to Target. You know when you see those, like, people just drop the shirts off and they fall, and then you just keep walking, you know? And I'm like, okay, what would Jesus do? Let's pick it up and put it back on. Let's be nice for these clerks that work so hard. But it's like we have a different mindset. So why not picture that all the time? Because what does it do? It brings a sense of security. It brings like, man, I can get through anything. I can give him my heart. I can be confident that he's going to go ahead and come through. And it was funny because the girls say, Mom, all of a sudden you answer the phone so differently. Hello. And I said, well, yeah, I'm going to be kind to them. They're not driving me crazy, you know. And they're just like, well, you act different. I said, well, yeah. Sometimes you guys suck the joy out of me. And I'm like, what are you doing? And they're just like, and now it's like it doesn't kind of faze Buddy. Oh, everybody knows Buddy. He does this thing of, and he does it to women's face, and I'm like, what are you doing, son? We're in Costco, and they're like, oh, he's so nice. And I'm like, stop it, I'm going to take away your Hulk, I'm going to take away your moron. And he's like, no. And I'm just like, oh, of course I'm not going to sound nice. Look what you guys do to me. You know, these people are calling, whether they need prayer. Of course I'm not going to, hello. I'm going to, it's going to turn them away. What would Jesus do? He's going to be like, hey, let me pray for you. What is there? I'm going to go ahead and shut my kids out, not make it about me. And I'm telling you, and there's no, I love it when you guys call. I really do. But there's so many times they're like, did I catch you in the wrong time? I'm like, no. It really is no, because it saved me. I mean, Buddy's probably pulling face hair, and I'm like on the phone thinking, what's more important? Prayer. And I'm going in the room and on the phone, and I'm like, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. You know, and my middle child, She says, Mom, you're like Kardashian. You go ahead and you're like monotone. You know, she goes, you're just like, don't do that. Why are you doing that? And I'm telling you, man, that's the grace of God right there. And I'm going to tell you why, because before I'd be like, what are you doing? Why can't you do that? And this was all the time. Stop it. Stop it. And I'm trying to, man, I'm just so sucked out where I had to like, okay, let me one up it. Let me think, Lord, what do I need to do? Stop going crazy. You don't need to go crazy. I said, Lord, I'm tapping into you. You are my joy. I'm just going to speak to them. They don't do it, you're time out. You know? But I began to like realize these are little things in life. And it's so important to tap into it. Even when you're feeling like as moms, as a lunatic, yes, I'm here, I totally get it. And I wasn't going to share this, but we were in Michael's, I think it's always when we're preparing for what we're today. And I get a call. And my mom's looking at me, and I'm like, and I get a call, I'm like, oh, one of my kids, what do they do? And so I'm like, okay. And inside, have you ever got a call and you just want to rage? You want to rage of like, what the heck were they thinking? Or it's that call that you're just like, man. And I'm telling you, it's like, I said, thank God, because in that moment, you know what I did? I said, Lord, you love me. You love me so good. In this particular situation, you have me. And this person's talking on the phone, and I'm this is what I'm doing. You have me. You have me. Maybe you don't have this child, but you have me. You really have me. Let them have it. You have me. And I'm like, get off the phone. And I was like, Mom, are you okay? She goes, no, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm okay. She goes, but you're just so calm. And I said, well, it's God. And I did the morning. I'm like, yes, it's just God. It's good. But don't get me wrong, you know. And then I called one of my children, and I'm like, and it was really monotone. I was like, what the heck are you thinking, you know? But in the day-to-day life, He's there to keep our joy. He's there to sustain us when we can't see when is that timing coming about. When is that bill gonna pay? I'm gonna be so honest. Yeah, really honest. You know, I was having a tough time. And the Lord, I'm like, Lord, why are you really challenging me this month? I don't get it. And I said, Lord, I'm believing. And there's some times where life happens and things that you were believing for, you feel like you were being robbed of. You feel like, what? I don't get it. But this is the thing. Don't stop believing for it. Because sometimes you can go ahead and give up, and it might be a minute later, it might have been an hour later, and there what it was. Whether you're praying for a home, you're praying for a man, if you're praying for finances, if you're praying for a family member, for healing, or if you're praying for where do you want me? Well, you're like, all right, He hasn't came through, I'm ditching this. And I was just like, okay, women, we are just so practical. Well, some of us, we want to go ahead and have our time schedule, our frame. So I'm like, okay, do I do this call? Do I call David? I'm like, okay, Lord, just leave it alone. And I'm trying to be practical, and I'm looking at everything like, this is okay. And I'm already thinking in the different resorts. And David said, we just continue. We continue. And I said, but look, we continue. And I'm telling you, ladies, continue. Continue to do what God has called you. And I'm telling you, there's so many times where maybe things happen and you missed out on service. And I'm telling you, you should have been there. Any service, wherever you guys go to church. Because I was moping for kind of like weeks, but it was like a hidden mope, you know. But I mope. And I even went ahead and put school aside, and I'm like, I don't want to hear anything about Jesus right now. I'm waiting for Him to come through. Just leave me alone. And all this time, I was like, okay, Lord, okay. let me feed myself. You know what? I need to finish this class. Let me go ahead and just finish it. I'm going to go ahead and computer, and I'm going to press play. And I'm going to tell you, this picture of this man, one of the professors, it was on pause for like 3 weeks. I pressed play. And this was not even the subject he was on. And he says, do not give up. If God has called you to do something, continue to pursue it. Don't go ahead on your timing. And I thought, oh, maybe that was for me. And he goes a little further and he's like, he has called you. Continue to believe because he will never leave you hanging. And I'm like, oh, God. And it began to minister to me. What did it do? It began to awaken. It began to build my faith. But I should have listened to that 3 weeks ago. And this is why I said, if you're in that moment and you're like starving for something, feed yourself. Get to church because it's going to awaken something. It's going to begin to restore. It's going to begin to heal you. It's going to begin to give you hope in place of fear. It really will. That was not what I was planning on sharing, but let his love grow you. Let it give you endurance, and it's patience and peace. Stop putting God aside, putting others. Sometimes as moms and as girlfriends, we put others ahead of us. We're so worried about, oh, my mom's fire. This is not for you, Mom. Go ahead and put me first. But, as moms, we go ahead and we're so consumed with our children, with the day-to-day stuff. He will direct you and lead you in confidence, security, and he will fill the love that casts out fear. The worries of life, finances, sickness, the everyday things that want to weigh you down. Cast your cares upon him because he loves you. In Romans 8:38, for I'm convinced, and this is good. This is really good. Because there's probably times, there were many times where I was in my closet crying, oh, doesn't he love me? Doesn't he see what I've done or what I'm in? How come he doesn't fix it even though I created my own mess? But this is good. Mark this down. Romans 8, verses 38. For I am convinced that neither death, nor life, nor angels, no principalities, nor things present, nor things to come, no powers, nor height, nor depth, nor anything created thing will be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus our Lord. You are not separated from the love of God. There's nothing that you can do. And yes, even not going to church is not going to separate you from the love of God. For drinking a glass of wine, it's not going to separate you from the love of God. He loves you. But you know what I'm telling you? This is what the love of God does. The love of God begins to change the inside. The love of God says, I can take you and I'm going to start to peel you off. I'm going to change your character. I'm going to put some softness in the inside of you. I'm going to go and put some humble pie in the side of you. I'm going to go ahead and give you some hope and give you endurance. And I'm going to go ahead and just show you my love. I sent my son to die upon the cross for your sins, for your wholeness, for healing. So ladies, you don't need to walk in depression right now. I speak to that depression and I come against it in every way. Because it wants to rob you. And that is fear. Anxiety, that is fear. We're free from that. The chains have been broken. And meditate on that because that brings life. Be bold and strong is to overcome the flesh. I'm telling you, man, yeah, I was in the flesh, but I said, okay, Lord, yeah, it took me weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, but hey, get back on it. It doesn't matter. Get back on it because it's going to give you that oomph to stay sane, even with my kids. Let's go ahead and turn to Zephaniah 3:17. I was trying to study David and I wanted to finish up. And thank God. God is so good. He was working literally till midnight. I made sure because I called his office. I'm like, he better not be having fun while I'm right here with these kids. And Buddy's jumping on me with Hulk. He's like, and I'm like, I caught myself writing down what I wanted to say to Buddy. I'm like, stop. Zephaniah 3:17. The Lord your God is in your midst, a victorious warrior. He will exalt over you with joy. He will quiet you in his love. He will rejoice over you with shouts of joy. That's beautiful. And it's amazing what he does. And ladies, give it a try if you haven't given it a try. Trust him. Whether it's just a little, he'll go and take whatever faith you have and to see what he can do with it. You know, before I wrap it up, I just, I think there's something in there that I was missing. And when I was mentioning how powerful our words are, they are. He has given, when you leave here today, remember your words. The word that stuck with me was, you're so unlucky. And I walked around with that for weeks. Because the dentist, a man, doesn't matter, person, told me how unlucky. And I said, I'm just so unlucky. I'm being for real. I was crying, I'm just so unlucky. I went to bed and I heard, I'm just so unlucky, David, I'm unlucky. And he goes, you want some Tylenol? I'm like, no, but I'm unlucky. And I was so fixed on what was said. I should have let it go and said, no, I'm a child of God. And you know, the third time I got it, it's like in marriage, the third time I got it. The third time I got it. Sometimes it takes some time. Okay, that's the grace of God. That's how much he loves us. But the third time, when I went in there, I said, Lord, I am a child of God. I pray for this man's hands. And I speak over this man's hands to quickly do what he needs to do. But he did say, give me 5 minutes, I'll be right back. And I'm telling you, I had locked jaw and I was like this. And I'm thinking, oh my God. And my dad said, are you okay? You know. He is that man. He is that man that restores. And I'm going to tell you, Luke, I think it's 10:19. This is so powerful. I didn't understand the power until after I was healed, because it made me believe there's something to this. They spoke words. Jesus wasn't right there when they healed me in the room. They were just simply words. They said, God loves you. He's loved you. He's never abandoned you that's alive from the pit of hell. He's there to restore you. He's there to heal you. But you got to participate. You got to give a little. Ladies, give a little. Even if it's a seed, he could go ahead and give you something else. But I'm telling you, a weapon. You guys want a weapon? I thought it was a weapon from my husband at the time. And I got better at that. And Luke 10:19, he has given us the authority to tread upon serpents and scorpions over the power of the enemy, and nothing shall injure you. Woo, so what are you doing complaining? And I was like, oh, I was standing there like, oh man, this was for me. Stop complaining and get over yourself. Because he has given you such authority to walk in and to come against things. You might see things going on with your family and things going on in this, but you know what? Speak to that storm within you. Let the peace sit within you. Come against the storm. Use your authority that has been given to you and say, you know, I come against it. I come against every sort of sickness in my body, every word that was spoken over me. Stop hanging on to words, because those words create such seeds within you, and I'm telling you, it's destructive. The kids, I shared this with the kids. And then when I was in the middle room, when I was teaching on words. And we were actually praying for one of the girls, and she got healed, and they're like, this is cool. I said, yes, you have it. And I said, you know what? It's so important to walk in forgiveness. Doesn't matter if someone wronged you. You walk in forgiveness. It cleans you. So I tell them, one time, I was at a club. And came from a function. I was like in a love dress. It was after I had my oldest. And we were dancing. And some guy comes up to me, and he goes, oh, you shouldn't be here. You're just kind of, and he goes like this. You're just kind of fat, don't you think? And I was like, look how power in the words. I gave it power. How much power do you give in the words that have been spoken over you? I'm telling you, what did it do to me? And I was like, man, I'm so fat, man. And on top of the sickness, then here comes an eating disorder. Don't eat it. Remember that guy? He said, you're so fat. And I was probably about maybe 15 pounds thinner, and I'm like, pinch myself. Come on. Let those words go. Know that, it doesn't matter what those words, this is what you do. I come against those words, and I speak blessing. I'm healthy, and I'm whole. And Lord, you have that control over my body. I speak to this body, and I'm telling you every day, I speak wholeness and healing. I speak to this metabolism. Rev it up. After 4 kids, everything's falling apart. Rev it up. Ladies, speak to your body. Speak to your vision. I even say, Lord, in the name of Jesus, I speak to my chest, and I don't like it. Show me the supplements to take. Maybe I'm lacking. Stop complaining about it and say, Lord, give me wisdom. Do I need to get on the treadmill? What do I need to do? Why is my blood pressure high? This was not even the subject I'm talking on, but I'm telling you guys this because He loves you. And there's so much authority. From here on today, use your authority. Walk in your authority. You're going to need it. You have children. You're going to need that authority. Start praying over them. Start speaking life. Give your words life words. And you begin to see healing. You begin to see wholeness. Within even your body. This is way too much info, and I'm totally going to share this. Because women, we go through these things. One day I was like, David, something wrong with me. And he said, well, what's wrong with you? I said, I don't know. I feel like if I have to wear like my bladder, And I said, maybe it's that thing of having so many kids, you can't hold your pee. And he's like, oh. And I said, well, I'm being real. You didn't mind, right? We kept on having kids. And he said, well, then speak to it. And I'm like, okay, because you know what? Some things are just annoying. I'm not going to accept it and say, well, it's because I have 4 kids, everything's hanging. No. You begin to speak to it. It sounds funny, but I'm going to tell you, you're probably going to get in that restroom and start speaking to that body. I remember that. And I'm telling you, it decreased. Sometimes it doesn't happen overnight, but He will meet you to your faith. And I began to speak to it, and sometimes it got worse. I said, what is going wrong? This happened years later. Like, I already had the kid, it just didn't come out, And I began to speak to it and speak to it and speak to it, and you need to speak to your body. Because you know what? You're giving the enemy the power and the authority because you're going, I don't feel it, look it must be this. And sometimes we can go ahead and say, it must be just because we had kids, or it must be because so-and-so had the flu, so they're going to get the flu, so we better be careful because we're going to get the flu. Yeah. Remember your authority in words. Put that feistiness. I know we have mama cubs. I know we do here. It's like if someone's messing with your kid, are you going to fight back? Heck yeah. That little chola wants to come out of me. I'm like, the girls are like, yeah. I promise. I think the Lord's like, and. My oldest, I said, what are you up to the other day? And she's like, nothing. What are you up to? I said, are you talking to somebody? No. And they're like, oh, Mom, if I tell you the name, you're going to go to the school and start like doing all that. I'm like, no. Probably follow the car. Me and Reese have done that. We got the binoculars out. Okay, last story, Laura, I promise. God is so good. He is so good. And I'm talking, yes, it's still on the subject. I was talking about kids. He gives us these tools. And when you seek Him and say, Lord, there's something's not right. If something's not right with your body, if something's not right with your kids, if you see something that even just your finances diminishing, something's not right. Lord, you know what? I'm going to make that time. Give me the wisdom. Show me. My daughter asked to go to the movies. This was a while, years ago. I'm like, okay, go to the movies. And so the movie was going to end. I said, oh, David, I'll be back. He's like, what are you up to? I said, Reese, come with me. Get your binoculars. And she's like, really? I said, really? Yeah, come on, let's go. So we go, we get to the movies. I'm something's not right. I just feel it. I feel it. So the movie wasn't out yet. And I said, let's go. They had like this little arcade. And bam! Reese was with the binoculars. And we're like, there you are, her and another girl. You know, at that age, I think it was like middle school. And she's like, I mean, I wasn't where I was at now because I probably wouldn't have scared the little boy so much, but I said, what are you doing? Does your mother know you're here? You know, I think she was probably like 14, but I said, she's 13. You know, what are you doing? You need to ask a parent. You don't